Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you for conducting this hearing. This is one of my favorite topics. I'm going to begin by quoting Irving John Good, who was a British cryptologist or mathematician, famous for working with Alan Turing. He is quoted as saying, "Let an ultra-intelligent machine be defined as a machine that can far surpass all the intellectual activities of any man, however clever. Since the design of machines is one of these intellectual activities, an ultra-intelligent machine could design even better machines. There would then be unquestionably an intelligence explosion, and the intelligence of man would be left far behind. Thus, the first ultra-intelligent machine is the last invention that man may ever need to make." Mr. Hammond, can you elaborate on some of the success recently of some of the AI self-improvement that's occurring, where it's constantly improving itself?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that it's coming in gradations. So we already have AIs that are good at coding, and a lot of the job of an AI engineer is coding. And so, there's a joke now that at these AI labs, they're no longer coding; they're just kicking the AI to fix the bugs. Beyond that, we also have AIs that are now writing their own algorithms. So earlier this year, Google released AlphaEvolve, which was an evolutionary AI algorithm that discovered new bounds on a mathematical theorem that hadn't been beaten in 47 years.
Yeah, and with that, Madam Chair, I've got an article about AlphaEvolve, a Gemini-powered coding agent for designing advanced algorithms, if I could submit that for the record.
And so ordered.
Thank you. When Dr. Lee, when it comes to jobs, I'm of the opinion, and I think you kind of touched on it, that things will change. It doesn't mean there will no longer be the need for us to have work to do. I think of it often this way. My great-great-grandparents, your great-grandparents, probably everyone in this room's great-great-grandparents were all farmers, because that's what it took. It took everyone working the fields in order to produce enough food to feed people. Today, very few people farm. It's because of machinery. And no one would go back in time, would agree that we should go back in time and say, don't let them have the tractor or the harvester, right? If anything, it's taken the power or the productivity of one person and magnified it many-fold. And that's the way I think we should think about AI. In fact, AI will be a magnifier for productivity for any individual, no matter what they do. And thus, you need the individual. You need that individual that's the core, the beginning. Would you agree with that, Dr. Lee?
Oh, I definitely agree. I published a book last year called Digitally Invisible, where I went to talk to farmers in places in Southern Maryland, across the country, and guess what? They said a tractor is only as good as the broadband that it has to actually be more productive in the work that they do, but most importantly, with the compute power of AI, it'll only be as good as the facilities that we offer them to be able to be connected to these new resources, and it'll just change and transform how they do their work in ways where they don't have to go out there and measure how much rain came. They'll actually know from the comfort of their office that's sitting on their land. So I do agree that we need to have conversations about job loss as well as the transformational capacities in which jobs will change the way in which we work. I don't agree that we'll have robots bossing us around yet.
I don't either. I don't either. Ms. Fabrizio, the European Union has, they reportedly, their regulations have kind of created a chilling effect. Can you elaborate on that?
Yes, it's been hard for companies to innovate, and that's why you see fewer unicorns and fewer tech innovations out of Europe. I think the U.S. is doing it right, and we have many companies here. We have the most robust startup ecosystem in the world here, and we see that firsthand at CES, 1,400 startups, and many of them creating new AI innovations and launching them at CES. That's why it's really important to make sure that we have a framework that supports them.
And I think we're at a place now where we just realize if we're going to stay on top competitively, we have to be the location for these data centers. We have to have these AI, housed in the United States. In order to do that, we need electricity. And Mr. Hammond, would you agree that right now we're an electricity crunch? We don't have what's needed for that demand, and we've got to change that.
Absolutely, not just the data centers, but all forms of things are being electrified from vehicles on down.
Thank you. My time has expired.